Okay, very good. Welcome, everyone. This is the regular voting meeting of the Planning Commission of the City of Reading for June 25th, 2024. Online, we have Commissioners Peter Ryan, Nelson DeLeon, and Vice Chairman Wilson Kesey. And in the room here, we have Danny DeCoya, and I am Wayne Beeler. I am the chairman. The first thing on the agenda is to accept the agenda. Are there any changes? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to accept tonight's agenda? Danny, second. Second.
Sure, Peter.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Okay, all those question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And motion passes. Okay, first thing on the agenda is the sketch plan for 317 Franklin Street, and I will turn it over to Jerome for the update.
Okay. This was a sketch plan application that was submitted for informal review and discussion. My review is completed on June 19th, 2024. Just to make sure that everyone is aware that the zoning hearing board also rendered a decision regarding this application. It was the zoning hearing board application 2023-36, which was approved on December 13th, 2023. So this is an implementation effort of that application. This project is located at 317 Franklin Street, which includes a revision or adaptive reuse to a commercial building that's 6,530 square feet as far as the lot size. It's a 3-story building, and the applicant intends on doing this in phases. Phase 1 will include a commercial, the conversion of a commercial retail use into a daycare facility, and then phase 2 will become the modifications that are necessary to have permits issued for 4 apartment units on the 2nd and 3rd floor. As I mentioned, this was permitted by a special exception, as well as I believe a variance was granted with this project as well. It's located within the CC zoning district. It will be a change of use, and the property or the existing building is non-conforming. This is a challenge for parking. Some of the uses will require parking, while others will not. With the daycare facility, they will require either pull-ups for drop-offs, and they have 1 dedicated space on here. We'll have further discussion on that subject, I think, a little bit later, but they have 5 dedicated parking spaces that would be considered or classified as off-street parking. But they aren't in the greatest position, but they are existing. So we're basically going to attempt to work with them. The thing we don't want to see is on-street double parking, which could be, I guess, somewhat of it will be an obstacle for the use, as well as to prevent clear traffic going through the site. So we'll have further discussion on that. Other than those items I just discussed, we provided a lot of other information. So once this project does go to a minor land development plan for submission, it will follow the preliminary/final plan guidelines for that application. And I think we provided them with a lot of other information. Clearly, the Public Works Department is going to have to weigh in on this project because of the existing parking area, as well as how it's going to be utilized for the proposed use. And also the Fire and Rescue Department should probably weigh in on this project as well. Fleet Building and Trades is already working with the applicant in some degrees as well. So having said that, I think if there's anyone here from the applicant today, I am. Fantastic. Would you like to present your plan? Yes.
That's about the architect here, I don't know, in the zone or
Do you have anything to what I have? We have,
about the parking.
hold on a second. You might have it to do this.
Mr. Law is.
Do you have that one?
He sent me just right now one about the parking, the drop off and pick up.
That's the one you want. That the one? Yeah, you want that one. You want that one.
Let me share so that everyone
He
can.
sent me right now.
Hold on.
Can I share?
So, yeah, go ahead. There we go. That's the plan.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone can see your display and as I mentioned, the 5 parking spaces off of Catherine Street. Again, these are existing parking areas.
That's Carpenter.
Carpenter
Carpenter
Street,
Street, yeah.
pardon me, Carpenter Street. And they are existing now and they will be dedicated for the use of the daycare facility as well as the for the use on for the apartments.
Yeah, for the apartment, we can use the 4 in Franklin Street parking garage.
So thing we want to avoid is having a lack of spaces for daycare drop off.
Yeah, I think we can use 2 parking here, plus we leave it handicap special.
Did you receive Tim's latest email on this?
I don't think Tim understood this project.
Okay, because he's rejected the
Yeah.
drop off.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Tim.
Oh, hi, Tim. I didn't realize you were there.
Well, I've been trying to, but I can't seem to get the link for the Zoom. It's not opening up. But I have had a chance to look at the 317 Franklin Street, and I've made some email comments about it. And I'm concerned about the pickup and drop off, as I usually am when it's proposed to use the street for the drop off and not off street. So I am concerned about that, and I believe that the
Tim.
zoning hearing decision indicated that.
Okay, yes, and they have 5 existing parking spaces now, and they want to use the same 5. I think it's up to us to make the determination on how that's going to be best utilized, and 1 space is not going to cut it. They're going to probably need 2 spaces for the daycare facility, and if they can get parking elsewhere for the apartments, that would be probably in everyone's best interest. We want to avoid the double parking on Carpenter
Right,
because there's gonna be no way to get through.
right.
Or
Okay, I just
Or
wanted to
double
be,
park.
just to let everyone know that there is no dedicated spaces for this address on Franklin or Carpenter for that matter. There was a loading zone associated with a prior permit, but that permit is expired, so there's no loading zone out there at this time.
What about the 5 parking spaces that are located along Carpenter?
In the street or off street?
They're off street.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just talking about in the right of way. Yeah, if they're on the property, then that's fine. I'm just talking about anything within the right of way, on street parking.
Okay, I got you.
Mhm.
How many, this is gonna be a child daycare?
Yes.
How many persons will be in, maximum capacity?
35.
35? So I'm thinking it'd be in everyone's best interest that there'd be at least 2 spaces available for pickup and drop off. The zoning hearing board did not come up with any type of clear-cut decision on how that's gonna be. I think we have to make that evaluation. Tim, what are your thoughts on that?
The zoning ordinance doesn't provide any standard.
It's a little hard for me to hear. What was that again?
For the daycare, there's gonna be 35 maximum children at this facility. So for pickups and drop-offs, this other one. For pickup on drop-offs, they should have at least 2 spaces.
Yeah, that's up to them and zoning. Yeah, it's really not a public works call. That's more whatever they feel is appropriate. We just want to make sure it's safe for the parents and the people who are dropping off the children. They have adequate room and then they're not putting themselves in the, in the path of an oncoming car and that sort of thing.
Also, drop-offs along Franklin would be kind of disastrous because the passenger side would open up onto traffic.
Yeah, that's true with
So,
every one that we get, and we deny every one of them for that exact reason.
So that's not going to be an option.
No, Franklin said no.
So you're gonna have to use your parking spaces
Yes,
that you have off of Carpenter.
it's fine, maybe that one, okay, I can rent it park in the garage.
And then what we can talk to the zoning office about is for phase 2, which are the 4 apartment units, where you can possibly get parking, dedicated parking spaces, and then maybe a garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ready, I tried to rent parking there, I really did.
Does that accurately describe phase 1 and phase 2? The daycare being phase 1
Okay,
and then the apartments being phase 2.
yes.
So you're gonna go through 2 approval processes? Is that-
Just one on the plan, that's how they're gonna
That's what I
phase it.
was- Okay, as far as developments,
This is what happens.
Where
I've
are
never
you with
seen
the
this
state?
before. Here's the link. I go to the link, I tap the link. And when it comes up, I get
Here you
this
tap.
much of it. You talking to me?
Jim Bob's.
yeah, we can hear you, so
Here on your side.
where are you with the state process, getting your state license?
We waiting for el proceso de estado, como vamos.
Solamente esperando el papel.
We waiting for the paper from the building and trade, need a paper for go to the state,
Okay,
because we don't have the paper for start construction, we cannot go to the state. It's a ask for,
Okay, you know how that process works?
they need a CO before they go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not gonna get a CO until we get through this process.
Because
Yeah.
it being a daycare,
Especially-
B and I is gonna have to approve these plans too.
Unfortunately, Emily's not here and she knows this project better than I do. In terms of, so she's working with the applicants.
yes,
On all those requirements.
I know fire and rescue had some comments
Yes.
based on the existing use.
Same type of discussion with the drop-offs and as well as and loading spaces.
Well, they also
Yeah.
had some comments regarding the alarms,
Sprinkler
Yeah,
system.
that's-
sprinkler system, yeah.
yes,
So I would try to, we just had a similar situation, we litigated. So you may wanna try to have that conversation with fire and rescue. Particularly with the apartment, number 1, the daycare, and number 2, with the apartments.
yeah, that's what they told me.
Jeremy's here, Foster.
Yes, I had to do the fire alarm system on the second, third floor, before I start working the care. It's ready for alarm system, 5th floor and basement,
Yeah, Emily might be able to set that meeting up with you and Jeremy.
yes.
It sounds like everyone's talking to each other, which sometimes in these cases, it's not the, not the case. So that is good.
So this is an adaptive reuse project.
And
And the apartments do exist, however, they're not legally existing.
And Emily might be able to explain this better, but the whole thing about the sewer modules.
Yes, and Tim, that's also discussed that as part of the minor land development plan, they're gonna have to address the sanitary sewer flows. And it was last going from, I believe, a restaurant. Fish store. What was
It was a fish store, then it was a furniture store.
Yeah, when I go there, it's a legal bar and restaurant next door. So what's by there?
Oh,
There's a lot
that
of-
would be legal then.
So, yeah, we'll have to compare past and present,
Yeah.
or past and projected sewer flows.
Because I'm sure the bar wasn't listed as,
We went over that here once.
Yeah, I already remove everything. It's not
Yeah.
there.
good,
I clean it up.
okay,
So they did attend a one-stop meeting as well,
okay,
so
great,
all went well on that.
okay, it sounds like we might be in a good position.
Well, we're in the right direction.
Alright,
It's just a sketch, no action tonight.
correct. Yeah, which is, glad they even brought it last month, the architect brought it last month,
Oh, okay.
so we've got a chance to look at it twice, so. Danny, any comments?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, it's in my neighborhood, so I'd like to drive by, check it out. But, yeah.
Yeah, we will have a chance to look at this when they do their actual submission, I think. But
The biggest thing is the temptation to do pickups and drop-offs on Frank.
yeah, and we can't allow that, one thing. And then it does say in your review letter that there's the possibility you may have to get an updated PennDOT HOP. Which is about a 6-month process. So check with your professionals
Okay.
to make sure you don't need that. You probably don't, but
I don't think they will, but that's.
with
always-
PennDOT, you never know.
There's always a possibility.
because we had a problem on Rockland Avenue where we thought, oh, no, they probably won't need it, and then PennDOT said, yeah, you'll need a new one. So please check that out
I'll
also.
check that out. Thank you for that.
All right, let's see here, does any of the commissioners have any comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, go ahead, Will.
Thank you. As Commissioner DeCarlo knows from living in the neighborhood and from our church being nearby, yes, there is a lot of traffic eastbound on Franklin Street, and it's narrow. So I certainly agree with the concerns raised about the drop-off there. Is this property outside of the flood zone? I ask because the floodwaters in both 1972 and 2006 came up to the 200 block on Franklin Street.
We will check on that, Will.
Okay, thank you. And then
Yeah,
a question I couldn't tell from the picture, sorry. North of the parking lot and that part of the building, the L shape of the building, is that a garage, or it looks like maybe a roll-up door? I can't quite tell. And is there an apron there on the Carpenter Street side?
That part is a garage. That is part of.
Garage,
the
yeah. Behind
It's a, it's a garage, Will. It's a garage.
But it is part of this,
That's actually.
it is part of this parcel, right?
It's from the owner, the restaurant, the corner, Franklin Street, the same owner.
But it's yours.
No, it's not mine.
Oh, it's not your parking space.
Uh,
In the garage.
Oh, come on.
that is my garage. The garage, yes.
Okay, so they have an extra parking space.
No, you said that, I'm sorry.
That's part of the sketch plans.
Yes, all right.
It's part of the actual daycare, so I don't think you would be able to use that as part of this.
Oh, you're gonna use it,
oh, yeah, that's where the indoor outdoor
Indoor,
play areas go.
okay.
All right.
Yeah, I see that now. Oh, okay, great.
Okay, well, that's all. We always appreciate sketch plans being brought before us, so thank you.
Yeah, we'll coordinate with Emily then.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so anyone have anything else
Yeah,
on this one?
I mean, I,
Oh, go ahead, Derek.
yeah, I have the same drop-off concerns, you know, with toddlers and infants, it's not, open the door and they go out by themselves and go in. It's the parents carrying them in or walking them in, whichever the case may be, which means parking the car and, getting out and coming back some minutes later. So yeah, I just don't understand how this is going to get accomplished. If there's, I guess the 35, they're probably not all coming at once. There's some different scheduling, but still, I would say the larger population gets dropped off in the morning. I'm just guessing. The parking on the side on Carpenter Street, it says parking for staff. So if that becomes a drop-off zone, where does the staff go? Can it be some sort of pull through? I've been involved in it in a K through 12 school in the past, and yeah, this drop off and pickup is a big deal and has to be designed for. So I'd like to. I hope you come up with a workable solution, but it's tough.
Yeah, we do it. Need to see all 4 spaces taken for that, but because we still need that ADA spot that's there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a requirement for both the daycare and the apartments, or just daycare?
Just daycare.
Okay. Oh, here's Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Okay. Yeah,
Anyway,
so
I hope you come up
gonna
with a solution for that.
Yeah, I think we're going to be discussing that further with zoning and public works, and try to work out some workable solution that.
One of the possibilities may be that they could dedicate all of the parking spaces for the daycare operation and have the apartments being utilized off-site. That's possible. So that way they'll have 5 spaces for the daycare for pull-ins and pull-outs all along Carpenter Street versus anywhere else, and then they'll need a total of 6 spaces for the apartments, so they could be elsewhere.
Anything else on this one? Okay, we look forward to your formal submission. I thank you for coming in with a sketch plan. I think a number of problems are going to be resolved before you sink a lot of money into this, because sometimes what happens is that people come in with a preliminary plan, and then we have to change something major, or zoning has to change something major, and then the plans basically have to get rewritten, and that's not cheap. So we really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We look forward to seeing you again.
Someone.
Next, we have the Alvernia American House minor land development plan at 354 Penn Street. And I'll turn it over to Jerome for the introduction.
Okay. This is the Alvernia University. They're doing a conversion or a adaptive reuse of the American House. The American House is located at 354 Penn Street. My review was issued on June 18th, 2024. This is a 4-story building that was previously occupied by as a hospitality establishment with 110 rooms, which was converted to a commercial use occupied by 7 tenants. So this is clearly a going from one extreme to the other. could be a change of use, it could be also classified as a revised plan of record. So that's how we're handling it as a change of use for this project. The Berks County Planning Commission had also reviewed this application and determined that they don't want to review it. So that's something we consider at a later time. For this application, it does qualify for a minor land development plan, so we'll go under the preliminary / final plan application modes. It is located within the historic the Callow Hill Historic District, so it would be subject to the Historic Architectural Review Board approval. And I think that you already know that. So that they'll be making a presentation. It's also located within the CC zoning district. And the project would be considered exempt in terms of parking spaces for a public or commercial use. It's our understanding that Alvernia utilizes shuttle services, and I'm assuming that that would be the same case for this use. Yes, the answer is yes. The applicant would have to address the need for curb, sidewalk, and driveway apron improvements. We've also made our standard comments with respects to street trees, lighting. With sanitary sewage flows, we're going to have to compare existing or historic values and compare that to how Alvernia is going to utilize the building, which Alvernia is going to be considering. It's going to be containing classrooms, research facilities, healthcare clinic, business uses, professional offices, and common areas. So I think that accurately describes your project. That's going to probably be one of the bigger things that you're going to have to cross in terms of hoops and hurdles for this project. We did provide you with other requirements that are necessary for guidelines. Most of those are notes. So you can work with your design professional on that. Other than that, I don't have anything further. Like I said, it is a good adaptive reuse project for revitalization and change of use for this project that's located in the CC zoning district.
Do you have any comments, Tim?
Yeah, a couple. I noted on the drawing that it said the vault will be filled, and it's supposed to be shown on the architecturals. And I couldn't find those. Were those submitted, the details on how the vault, where the vault is and how it's to be filled?
I do have it on the plans that I uploaded this yesterday. Yep. Back to that one there.
Yeah, I can't hear any of that. The audio is really bad tonight for some reason.
Kim, we're just sharing what he has in terms of plans. Can you share what is on the board? See what is on the board?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you zoom in a little on that top plan? So the 4th Street side of the building is planned south, and the 10th Street is the east side, where you can see those cavities along the side of the building. Those are the existing vaults that are in place. And what we're looking at is the gravel looking shaded areas in that plan are where we're going to put CMU walls down below and kind of infill. So that way we can put new accessible ramps that get up into the building at the front and side of the building to better the accessibility.
Very good.
And also the rear side of the building, the 3 existing tenant spaces where there's no ramp now, and there's a step that get into them. So we're bettering the accessibility to that space too. And that has smaller vaults in that back area.
Wow, that's incredible. Did you hear that, Tim?
I heard most of it. Yeah, it sounds like you've got a plan. Has that plan been submitted? Are those details shown on the drawing?
Those have not been submitted with the civil submission that was in there, but we can provide those.
Yeah, I'd like to see how you're going to do it. The one thing we require when you're backfilling vaults, we want to make sure there's a bond break between the top of the infill and the sidewalk, so that in future, for maintenance of the sidewalk, you don't have to rip out the whole infill. You can just take off the layer of sidewalk and replace it without having to worry about the infill below. Usually it's a layer of stone used as a bond breaker. We want to make sure that that's in there.
Okay. We noticed there's a similar one happening about half a block away. We were kind of observing it while they were working on it the other week.
Yes, yes. If you could do it that way, that would be best. Is the vault under the entire sidewalk, or is it just at those specific locations?
The one on Plan South is just that specific location. The one on Plan East side, we think it goes the whole way to the street.
So on the,
It's sealed
Right.
currently, so we're not 100% till we get it open.
Right. Yeah, those were often used as coal chutes. When the
Yeah.
city went off steam and they went on coal, they used those as coal chutes. So yes, yeah, it would be good to see how you're going to do that. And yes, the way that was done on the North 4th Street, that would be a good example of what we'd like to see.
Okay.
One thing I did bring up in the review was, oh, go ahead, Tim, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the ramp. I noticed, I think you have like 3 ramps. Are they all accessing the first floor? And do you need 3, or could you just use 1?
So if you scroll down to the next plan. So the main entrance is in the middle of the building on 4th Street. That's our main entrance,
Right.
the first floor. The ramp on the Penn Street side is access to the dentist office that's currently there, and that's gonna be their only entrances on Penn Street. They'll have 2 exits
Okay.
on that side only, back in the building.
Okay,
And the ramp on the far left side of the plan, those 3 tenant spaces do not have access to the building. They'll be independent.
okay, so they are separated by a wall. Those are separate entrances. There's no shared first floor space. Okay, fine. And in my last, well, I have 2 more questions. I couldn't tell from the drawing how much of the sidewalk remains beside the outside of the ramp and the curb. How many feet are there for accessible route?
We were holding a minimum of 5 feet. So what you see there, the ramp replacement at the main entrance, that edge of it is to the edge of the existing step that's currently there. We're just changing the direction of the step to go horizontal out the other side instead of into the walking path.
So is it 5 feet?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, very good, very good. Last question, planning modules, a very good narrative. Really not a question. We just need to go through it and see if that's going to be justified, and we'll have our Public Works Utilities team that will review that. So we'll get back to you on the planning module question. And that's all I have.
Back to the pickup and drop off location for the shuttle bus, where will that exactly be?
so currently, there's a handicap and a loading zone at that corner of Penn and 4th that wraps around the corner to the building. That is currently how they were doing drop off for the current dentist office and the medical center that was up on the 2nd floor. That's no longer there. We also know there's 3 parking garages within a block and a half, and then there 2 lots over, there's a paved parking lot also that people here have been utilizing accessing this building. So I'm not necessarily sure, other than communication between the different campuses on what they offer to get to those garages. I think we still need to work through the specifics.
Tim, this will be, I guess this will be classified as a private pickup and drop off, not a BARDA pickup and drop off. Would they need PennDOT approval?
Fourth Street.
Yeah, Fourth
Yeah,
Street,
because it's
Penn
State
Street.
Road is Penn Street. Penn Street.
Yeah, Penn Street's city road.
So Fourth Street would be,
Fourth Street would be, it's,
Correct.
because currently Penn Street's a bus drop off.
Yeah.
so you'd be occupying Penn Street. Tim, they're gonna be using Penn Street for pickups and drop-offs? Is that a problem with Public Works?
I think the audio is really terrible here. I think you said, can you use Fourth Street for pickup and drop off? Are we talking about the same problem as with the daycare? What are we doing with the pickup and drop off? Oh, that's for the shuttle?
There's a loading zone. No, currently on Penn Street, that's a public bus drop off in the front of the building. And then as you wrap around the corner, there's a loading zone for the building, right on the street that's already identified there for the building. It kind of goes from the curb almost to the main entrance. There's a handicap parking spot and then a loading zone behind it as the 3-hour parking. So we're hoping for building, utility drop-offs for small deliveries, to be able to drop off at that spot, and then also utilize that handicap parking spot for, access to the healthcare center above on the 2nd floor.
Plus your shuttle?
Yeah.
How long is the shuttle stationed?
Drop off and it immediately goes. It's on a continuous loop. That's looping for students that need to commute back, or in staff, faculty and staff that commute back and forth from our main campus out of Route 10 to the interstate.
It's like 5 minutes max.
5 minutes max. Yeah, as far as what it would take to unload a 24 passenger bus. Or shuttle, sorry.
Did you hear that, Tim?
Most of it, yeah. As far as the question with PennDOT, I don't think it's going to require an HOP. Sounds like you want to use the parking space. That's under the jurisdiction of the city and the parking authority too. It would have to be something that both Public Works and the parking authority would agree to. And it sounds like you want to use it for like a bus stop, like for a small bus. So this would be more than just your typical loading zone. You might need 2 spaces to do that safely. So we'd have to, coordinate it. We'd have to see how you're designing that and, where it's going to be located, make sure it's going to be done safely. But as far as HOP, I don't think you would need an HOP. The only time you're going to need an HOP is if you break the pavement. If you're going to be doing a driveway cut or for some reason, if you're going to be cutting into the paved area, the asphalt paved area, not the sidewalk. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only question I had. Okay, does anyone have any questions on this? Danny says no. Any of the commissioners online have a question?
Well, comments or questions, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I wanted to note this building, I believe, dates back to the 1840s. Perhaps the applicant can specify if they know. And it's in the Italianate style. It's a beautiful specimen. And it was redone in the 1980s. We encourage mixed use for properties, so I'm glad to see that this is not only intended for educational uses, but for office and business commercial uses. It's not going to be part of the business incubator like the building across the street Alverdia has, right?
There will be a small portion of it on the upper level that's associated with that. The other tenants on the other floors are, their organizations. The current tenants that are coming into the building that are outside.
Can you mute everybody else?
Somebody needs to be muted.
So there's association with that as part of the program here at the college, but then the whole 2nd floor is Berks Community Health Center, which is a partner of the university and their nursing program. And then Jim Jam is another tenant coming in that works with autism children that they'll allow students to come in and observe the children one-on-one to be able to help strengthen the education program with the college. So they've been partnering with people that kind of help there's a shared relationship. Also, the PTOT is a space that they provide back to the Berks Community Health Program also to allow physical therapy, which is a part of their current program. So the university is allowing them to use the building and also allowing the students to actively integrate into some of the learning processes.
Thank you. Yeah, you reminded me that I saw the health clinic was proposed, which is good for that, for downtown. I know there's already at least one, but with the density there and increasing as it is, that's good. So the public would be coming in to at least some of these enterprises in the building. I was wondering, on the 4th Street side, there had been, up until a few years ago, a restaurant. So obviously it has all the facilities. Is there any thought of keeping that as such for the public's use?
There's currently no restaurant going in. That's being taken out, and there's a community room that's being utilized as part of the Berks Community Health Program. But I think the college is looking for that as a community space they could possibly host programs there. So they're trying to make it flexible, not just to their tenants, but also outreach to the neighbors.
So for the community benefit, but that's good. Thank you.
And you were asking about the dates. So the front part of the building, the first kind of third there was from 1856. And then along 4th Street, the second third of it is from 1867. The rear of the building was added on in 1910. And then they infilled between that and the neighboring property in 1950. And then we have some, I guess you could pull those up too. Yeah. So if you go to the first slide.
Yeah, 1850 sounds right. And yes, it's obvious it was built in sections, but that's good you had the specifics. Thank you. That's all I had.
And we're
Mr.
planning.
Chairman. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we're planning to completely restore the exterior of the building back to the original color tones and replacing wood, so we're not altering the appearance.
Right, and wouldn't be replacing any kind.
They're gonna be in front of the heart.
Yeah, that's great. So that'll fit in with the restoration of the Elks Club also.
So then there's gonna be the divisional of internal space where certain other uses are gonna be occupying the south side of the building. And then, did you say the dentist is staying as well?
Yes, they have the extensive lease that was signed before the purchase, so they're gonna be there for a little while.
You want it? You want it?
You can do it.
Okay. So the city has interpreted the land development provisions in the municipality planning code differently than the county does. So our interpretations, this does need to go through land development. You're taking the steps to be here. So it doesn't look like the county wants to see it again, but our position is because of the breakup of the use of the facility, it is a land development. So that's why we require you to go through the process. Because it says division of or allocation of, actually in their definition, whether initially or cumulative between or among 2 or more existing or prospective occupants. So we think it has to go, so our position has to go through land development.
The county didn't completely understand your proposal. We did because we had the benefit of doing a one-stop with you, as well as the discussions with the zoning office. So and also the yeah, so we've had the opportunity to have discussions with you, so we're a little bit more familiar. Does this provide you with enough guidance to continue on with the project?
Now, is this, I know we submitted as a minor land development, is that what the qualification is?
Yes.
So with this submission, I mean, what's the next steps? this would be the review of the land development plan, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So we addressed the review letter. And
Your biggest thing I think you're gonna have to do is, well, two things, is just verify that we don't need anything further from PennDOT for the HOP. And then two, to verify with Public Works on the sewer flows to determine if the planning module is necessary for the project. If we get through those two major hurdles, then we can approve the plan with conditions.
okay. Now, was any of this submission, was it submitted to Public Works as well?
Yes,
Yes.
that's who was on the line.
Okay. Do they have comment on the planning module or?
Oh,
He said he received it and he just needs to review it, I believe. Is that correct, Tim? You received the narrative for the sewer module and you just need to review it?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I've already looked at it. It looks like a good narrative. It looks very complete, and we just need to review it with our utility. Our utilities engineer needs to review that and determine if that's satisfactory. You're requesting no need for additional sewer planning, and that needs to be verified. So we are working on it. We'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
His only other comment was about the drop off.
and verify whether it needs an HOP.
Well, and also how many do you need?
you'll have to coordinate the drop-off space with Public Works,
Okay,
or the shuttle service drop.
okay. So basically, the biggest thing is we're waiting on input from other departments at this point. It sounds like, and investigating the HOP.
Tim, who's gonna make the final call on whether or not they need an HOP at this stage?
I'm still confused. What would be the need for the HOP?
Would there be any if there's any modifications? I guess, but maybe from my perspective, if there's modifications to the pickup and drop-off zone, that's just it's just purely the Public Works domain, not PennDOT's.
Well, when you say modifications, are you adding a ramp or a driveway or are you just adding a space to pick up? And again, this is for the shuttle, right? The bus.
Yes.
This is for a bus that will unload on the curb side of the space.
Yes, would that
And-
require?
Yeah. No, that would not require an HOP. But it would need to be coordinated with the Reading Parking Authority because it's downtown, there's metered spaces, and it would then require a permit. This would require a permit because we got to put a sign out there that officially denotes that as well, actually it would be like a loading zone or a bus stop. Actually, it would be more like a bus stop. This is strange. I'm not sure how we did it on the other side of the street. We'd have to come up with some sort of a label for this so people don't park there and block your shuttle parking.
It's Tim, correct, Tim? So Tim, and again, just for reference, Raphael, who's the new director, would be the best point of contact to reach out, coordinate this, and then bring back this information in front of this board here to review. Is that correct?
You might want to check also on how you did it with other properties you have
Yes.
within the city of Reading for your shuttle service.
Yes. And prior to that, when we did the 401 Penn Street was directly with Reading Park.
Okay.
All right, that's just.
Right.
Yeah, and then,
And-
So it just basically sounds like they're looking for guidance on what the next step is, and the next
Right.
step would be Reading Parking Authority.
Correct, yeah, and whether or not we needed the,
It sounds like we don't need the HOP.
right,
It sounds like we need some input from a few of the departments. Like there's a comment on zoning office should verify zoning compliance.
You're already under their radar as part of this application.
Yes,
So that's been taken care
so
of.
we're just waiting on confirmation that.
Fire and Rescue Department, I think you need to independently address.
Okay, so I will need to reach out to fire rescue. Okay, and then the certified arborist for the city of.
They
Reading.
review that as part of this application.
Okay, were there any comments?
Not yet.
Not yet, so
not
we're
yet,
waiting on.
but I think Lester's on vacation.
Okay, so, and we're waiting on that as well. So Public Works, certified arborist. Yes. Parking authority,
Mr. Chairman,
fire
this is
rescue,
Will.
we'll reach out to.
Go ahead, well.
That's,
If I heard correctly earlier, where this trolley, not trolley, shuttle, excuse me, shuttle pickup would be, and I certainly have no objection to that idea. I think somebody said it is either in or near the bus stop. I would just advise that there be some, reaching out to, BARDA on this. I'm not sure where the bus stop is.
The bus stop is on Penn Street, where we would be looking to access is actually Fourth Street. So it would be no interference to the BARDA bus route, since they go up and down the corridor. I don't believe they make any of those turns on those smaller streets there on Fourth Street, Fourth and Penn. So we would be favoring which would be this loading zone that we're referring to. It's actually closer to the main entrance, which is about a quarter down into the block, so we wouldn't be impeding the handicap walkways or anything like that as well.
Oh, see,
Our
I didn't
max
hear it was
size.
on Fourth Street. It's hard to hear, sorry. Okay. Okay, well, maybe just to see if they have any concern with their turning radius or anything like that. It shouldn't be a problem then.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I don't think any buses turn there. If they do, they would come down Fourth Street. I think they drop off on the other side of the street. Although that side of the street's now marked for parking, so, but, you know, I don't remember anything down there. My mother-in-law used to live down there. So. All right, any other comments from the commissioners? Okay.
You're not moving that mailbox proposing, I don't know if you can, it'd be a postal service. Is that mailbox still there?
Yeah, that stays, that's.
Yeah,
Yeah, as
the
long as that
mailbox
doesn't
stays
impede.
where it is, because, yeah, that's the post office thing.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good to have a few of those left, so that, as long as it doesn't impede their access, you know, you might have to check with their schedule or something. But again, it shouldn't be a problem, just a consideration.
I would recommend we table this.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think that would be a great idea, since we've got a little bit of research to take care of. And then, as Tim noted, if you could get those details on how the vaults are going to be filled over to Public Works. There was a vault on Fifth and Penn that needed to be filled, and it took actually it took almost a year, right? Tim?
Oh, that took years.
Yeah, so we don't want that to happen to
No.
you guys.
No, we
This
don't
is
need
not
that
as
again.
big, but- Yeah, but we don't need that, those problems that happened there, because that sidewalk was closed for years because of that. Filling those
Yes.
faults. So, yeah, so it's one thing to knock it out now. So, all right, very good. Do I hear a motion to table? Danny? Where are we? Here we go. Second,
Peter?
Peter? Okay, thank you, Peter. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Oh, very good. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. I'd just like to say on behalf of the university, thank you for taking the time out tonight to have this discussion. We'll continue to do what we have to do on our end to make sure that we're all in compliance as far as the needs and wants. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, while you're here, I would like to ask, how is development on the Berkshire building doing?
Which Berkshire, I'm sorry. a little bit.
The old Berkshire Hotel, across from the Abraham Lincoln. You guys own that too?
Worth in Washington.
Fourth and Washington. No, The Madison building, are we talking?
Across the
Fifth,
street from
Fifth and Washington.
Fifth and Washington,
Fifth and Washington.
Fifth in Washington.
6-story building.
Yeah, I don't think no, that's a misconception. We don't own that building.
You put in a plan for it
We put in a plan, but
and it's been approved.
yeah, that's coming down the pipe.
Okay.
It's coming,
Okay.
it's coming. But yeah, no.
So Fifth and Penn is
okay,
going to be
so-
developed?
That seems to be the goal at this
No,
point.
we're talking about Fifth and
So it's not
Washington.
going,
It's not, we're not anywhere in.
so it's not student housing as was originally proposed.
I don't wanna make the wrong comment on that, Jim.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very good.
I don't wanna say no, and then it's
All right.
very preliminary stages, but we will.
Okay, we'll catch up with you
Catch
later
up
on
with Danny,
that.
I'll let him know what's going
Yeah.
on. All right, guys, thank you so
All
much.
right, thank
guys,
you.
for coming. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Good seeing you. Yes, I will, take care.
Very good. Okay, we will move on to 2040 Center Avenue, and I'll head over to Jerome for the update.
Yes, this is the 2040 Center Avenue Land Development Plan. It's been submitted as a minor land development plan. This plan's had a lot of action. And this is now a summary of what has been done to date. Our reviews dated June 17th, 2024. This project is going to be a proposed banquet hall located on a 15,600 square foot parcel of land, which is 2040 Center Avenue. The applicant, this project is located within the MC zoning district. A conditional use application was submitted in 2022-01, or I'm sorry, the application number was 2022-01. It was approved by the City of Reading Council by Resolution 98-2022 on May 23rd, 2022, subject to conditions. Those conditions need to be applied to the plan. The applicant did appeal that decision through the Court of Common Pleas. That decision was also then rendered in favor of the city via case number 22-9989 on November 17, 2022. And then that decision should also be referenced and noted on the plan as far as their decision. That addresses a lot of comments that the zoning office already had. In addition to those comments, we've also brought up other comments and conditions that were brought up. More specifically with off-street parking and loading on the site, the applicant does have a loading space. However, the parking facilities that are going to be necessary for this project, there'll be at least 28 parking spaces that are going to be necessary. There are 10 spaces that are located on this property. So therefore, the balance would then need to be transferred 18 spaces on adjacent properties within 300 feet of the banquet hall. The applicant does and has submitted a parking facilities agreement, which has been submitted to the zoning office for further review and consideration. So that aspect has been complete. However, it may not be up to the satisfaction of the zoning office. Emily did provide us with some correspondence in an email, and I think that still needs to be worked out and resolved with the zoning office. Other than that, the remaining issues that also remain are, we believe that the fire and rescue has reviewed this plan, but we want to make reach out to them for final verification. And the sanitary sewer flows, again, we just need to verify past data with future data. And they're going to be this facility is more so going to be operating on peak flows, probably Friday or Saturday or Sunday, that they're going to have to provide data to the Public Works Department on what those would be. Other than that, there will be no external improvements that would require a municipal improvements agreement, nor will there be a need for a stormwater management maintenance agreement. So, once we resolve those other issues, the plan would be, ready for approval. But we need to discuss those.
Dan, I saw that you're here somewhere. Do you have any questions?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? You got me now? I talked to Deb Hogue about the sewer module, and I picked up the fee today, so I'll be preparing the module. She wants us to document the peak flows. Even they're planning on not having any dishwashing or basically all single service type materials, but she wants to have peak flows, basically at 8 gallons per patron in case they want to change it, and then there's no problems. And I guess with the Reading Phillies, the 8 gallons per patron for them will be a drop in the bucket. But I'm gonna get that module prepared and submitted. I think most of the comments that Jerome was talking about, I have made changes on the current plan.
Do you want to talk about the valet service?
The parking agreement requires that with the parking spaces are directly across the street. And the parking agreement specifically says that valet services must be utilized.
The other comments that staff had were in regards to access to the driveways that are located in proximity to, well, this one's Catherine Street. To Catherine Street.
Well, when you look at the recorded plan of Cathedral Street, that alley was on there. The property is deeded to the alley, so they have rights to use that alley, even though it's on the Reading Phillies because it's or the city of Reading's property because it's a deeded alley, and it's called out in their deed, and it's called out on the recorded plan from 1928.
Yeah, this is Tim, and yeah, I talked to Chris about that from our engineering office, and I believe it is just a 20-foot alley. I don't know that it belongs to anybody's deed. I think it is just a separate 20-foot alley where each deed abuts that 20-foot alley. Dan, is that what you're seeing on the deed?
Oh, I never plotted up the city of Reading deed. That thing goes on for pages. So I'm not quite sure that it's very clearly shown as an alley, and our property goes along the eastern side of the alley and calls out the alley, which gives you access to the alley. Now, when I was out there measuring and we did our survey, the current improvements on the city property is now 24 feet wide instead of 20, which makes it an improvement.
A little wider than the 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it runs the full depth of the lot, so you have complete access to the parking on the lot side using the alley.
Correct.
So yeah,
Correct.
we don't have any problem with that.
And the normal the flow of traffic comes in the alley and parks and then goes out through what used to be the old drive-in bank booths.
So the valet, only valet parkers, that's not the correct terminology, will be crossing the road.
To the
Yeah, the parking spaces are on the other side, so the parking attendants will have to be crossing the street at the traffic signal.
Luckily, there is a traffic.
Okay, because I was thinking, if not for that, I wanted identification from the city. But if there's a traffic signal, the attendants to do that.
Yeah, is the parking in the BCIU lot? Dan, is the valet, is the parking with, parking agreement, that lot that the BCIU uses?
No, I have it drawn on my drawing. You can put the drawing up,
Okay.
because I drew them across the parking spaces are, you go in where BCI is, and this is to the right. It's I'm not sure what it is. It's what they do. I think it's an employment agency or something.
Yeah, it's an employment agency.
Yeah.
Okay, that used to be.
Yeah, it's Champion Personnel.
But I think it's
It used to be
an employment
Carpenter.
agency now.
Is this gonna, and I guess this is the biggest question, is there going to be a conflict with lease agreements that the Reading Phillies currently have with this same place?
The Phillies have no option on that property, I don't think. This
We
parking
verify
lot.
this. I just wanna make sure that we're not double dipping, and then the Reading Phillies have access to that, and your client has access to that, and then,
Show up at a baseball game.
yeah.
I submitted
Yeah,
the
I'm sure
agreement.
that they're-
I submitted the agreement so everybody can read, and my understanding, it's just for them, that the Phillies have no dibs on it.
I'm sure that people
Let's get that clarified with the
Park
stadium
there.
commission.
Yeah, that's a good point, because even though the Phillies, I don't think the Phillies have any rights to park there. People park there anyway, when the Phillies.
Dan did submit the parking agreement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just forward that then to the stadium commission to see if that's a problem.
Yeah.
Don't wanna see an arm wrestling match out there between the banquet facility and the Reading Phillies.
Yeah, we might have to put up some signage or something. The property owner might have to put up signage.
Other than that, though, I mean, I think we could consider approval of this plan, subject to the remaining open issues in the review letter, which identifies all these topics.
I would like resolution of the zoning issue. Go forward.
With the stadium commission. Okay.
Cause I think that's important.
So table.
All right, does any of the commissioners have any comments on this one? Did you have anything else, Tim?
No, that's all I had.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it's probably that parking lot then. That's.
I
Emily.
submitted the signed agreement to Jerome and Emily's, so it should be in there, so everybody can take a look at it.
Yeah, I wanna send this to the stadium commission. Just to make sure that they don't have any dibs on the same property.
Oh, the stadium commission.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Well. Yeah.
I wanna make sure that someone double dipped in on the same agreement.
Okay, with that, unless someone else has a comment, do I hear a motion to table? Danny?
So move.
Okay, Nelson? Is the second question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Who-
Okay, very good.
Who's gonna contact the parking, for the Phillies? Are you gonna do that?
I'll take care of that one.
Okay, okay, and then I'll get working on the module. Tim, is a module submission 700 or 750?
Yeah, I think it's 750.
Okay,
If you want to send me an email, I can confirm that.
okay. I forget what we did the last one when we did that
Yeah, it
Washington
should be.
Street one.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it's 750.
Okay, okay, that's all right. I'll get working on that and submit the material like we did for 522 Washington Street. That just went off to DEP today.
Very good.
Very good. Then we will move on to the next one, which is Mitsubishi Chemical LDP. Which I don't know if we have it. I see that Scott's not here, so.
I'm here virtually.
Oh, there you are, Scott.
Yes, sorry I couldn't be there tonight.
Oh, no, these things happen. You guys are busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm ready for this one. This project was reviewed by my office on June 20th, 2024. The plan was previously approved by the Planning Commission on March 26th, 2024, subject to conditions. This letter should serve as the remaining conditions of approval or a summary of the remaining conditions. And the biggest one that we still have to work through is the 14-foot wide public alley which traverses the property, which will be vacated. We need to get this on City Council's agenda in order for this project to be considered and approved. As you are maybe aware, that bisects parcels B and G, which is going to be where the warehouse facility is going to be on this site. So we need to vacate that and coordinate that. And I think the other biggest item on that, Scott, was you have submitted the municipal improvements agreement cost estimates. We have made a comment on that. So the agreement would have to be resolved as well as the stormwater management agreement. And I think that you had mentioned that your E&S plan is still under consideration by the County Conservation District.
Yeah, I got a verbal approval 2 weeks ago and I'm still waiting for the letter. So he assured me I'd have it tomorrow. So which is usually the day after the meeting, but here it is. So but we will take care of all the items that are outlined on there. And just to let you know about the alley, we have gotten Attorney Mark Cuck involved, so he can deal directly with the city to try to resolve that with the city solicitor and the council directly. So that's being worked out in the background.
And I'm assuming did you already have discussions with Public Works with regarding the planning module?
Yes, yes. We provided a narrative considering that it's a domestic flow. There is no production involved in this, and the two parcels have adequate current EDU reservations. So.
Hey, Scott.
So that's
did you sit? Yeah, I'm sorry, Scott. Did you send me that narrative? I'm looking for it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you in the morning, but it was a part of the entire package that I resubmitted back to the city. But I think I'm going to start sending you and Jerome email directly. I think it probably would help expedite things a little bit easier.
Yeah, we try to organize it on our FTP server so everybody has access, and I'm looking and I can't find it in there. So yeah, I'd appreciate it if you could send that to me.
Okay, no problem.
Check that out. Thanks.
Okay.
So do you have our sample agreements to prepare them and send them over to me for review when you're ready, or do you need me to send them to you?
If you could send them to me, just to make sure I have the most recent, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
And then I would be looking for the planning commission to basically just reaffirm the approval with subject to the conditions, and we will take care of that now that we're pretty well caught up with everything.
I don't have a problem. I'll just defer to Jerome about technically with the reaffirmation. I don't think you're going to get through the city vacation in 90 days. So my
Okay.
recommendation would be to defer reaffirmation until after the vacation, or at least until this commission sees the application for vacation.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, I definitely,
And Mark's a very good person to take care of it for you, so I see no problem in
I
that.
think Mark did one of the street vacations in the past.
Yeah, Mark's very. I'm sure Mark can handle this, no problem.
I don't see a problem with it. I just timing wise.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but
I
I
still,
don't think
I'm,
we have any, we're in agreement that we don't need to reaffirm it.
okay,
Yeah, Scott, you definitely have all the information. You have the deed descriptions, you have the plan views. I mean, everything you have already prepared, so
Hmm.
it's just a matter of getting the application to city council.
okay, yeah. It was a little bit above my pay grade, so I got, Mr. Cook involved, so,
A good person to get involved.
yes.
So this should be
yes.
tabled.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, we still have the approval, so we will, come back for a reaffirmation once we have all the other items addressed.
Any comments from the commissioners? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to table? Danny? Second?
Peter?
Peter? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
very good.
All
Opposed?
right, all right, thank you. Everybody
Okay, very good.
have a good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Scott.
No problem. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, that answered a lot of my questions that I had on certain things, so that worked out well. All right, next up, we have Castlewood. And I'll turn it over to Jerome for the update.
Yeah, this is mostly Tim's project. We reviewed this last on April 29th, 2024. Since then, Tim's been running everything in terms of the acceptance of the streets in Castlewood, which include Kingsway and Queens Court within the right of way, and which also would include the Cartway and stormwater management swales. So Tim, your ball.
Did you say you're turning it to me now?
You know, yeah.
Okay, it's hard. It's been very difficult for me to hear the meeting today, so I'm doing my best. Yeah, Castlewood is coming along very well. We had our surveyor, our consultant, check it, and it appears to be accurate. I'm still waiting for him to get back with a final confirmation. We just got the final revised final plan and the legal description yesterday or the day before. So it's looking like it's getting there. Here's what we need to finish this up, to completely finish it. The Planning Commission needs to make a recommendation to the City Council for the opening or dedication of this piece of property. And it's got to be legally transferred somehow. And I just want to let, Phil Rabina and the HOA know that that needs to happen. And just like Mitsubishi had to get some legal assistance, I would suggest the HOA needs to get some legal assistance to make that happen, because the council needs something to act upon. And it's above my pay grade. I'm an engineer. I don't know if Michelle has anything that she would like to add to the mix here, but from here on out, I believe it's going to be mainly Public Works completing the inspection of the on-site improvements that were made. Assuming that goes well, then the rest is really the Planning Commission making a recommendation and City Council approving an ordinance that will accept the property, legally accept it, transfer it over, and then opening the road so that we can add it to our official topographic plan of streets.
The application.
Yeah, Linda had sent also an email. Here. Go for this.
Tim and or Mr. Rabina, has something been submitted to council? With the, okay, so they already has submitted the petition and documentation.
Yes, the Castlewood Homeowners Association, yes,
Okay.
it includes Homeowners Association annual meeting, the petition,
Does it have the legal descriptions and things?
the legal descriptions in, and everyone's signatures.
Okay,
So, and Linda had provided then also the email that's saying that we need
yeah.
this recommendation.
So Tim, I think council has everything they need to act on this.
Well, they need an ordinance.
Right.
Who's going to make the ordinance?
I can check with Linda to see who's gonna do the ordinance.
Yeah, and I would expect there'd be, I'm thinking there'd be some sort of a transfer because the property is legally owned by title by the homeowners association. Something has to change that and over to the city of Reading. We've done that in the past, and that usually requires some sort of a deed transfer.
Yeah, we
If I
usually,
could-
go ahead.
Go ahead, Phil.
If I could interject, I was on the phone today with Steve Price, and he will help us to do the deed transfer and whatever is required there.
Okay.
So
Very good.
we've got that covered, and one of my questions was, in what order does some of this stuff have to happen? So anyway, I'm clear about that. I will talk to Mr. Price about that. Now, on the original deed, which I have a copy of, our secretary, I think, has the actual, I have a copy of the deed, but she has the actual deed, and she's had a hip operation. So she's a little bit, in disarray, but we'll get that. But it starts and it talks about Over Glen Road. So Over Glen Road has to become Glen Road. That was one of the things that I saw. And I guess the other thing would have to be the legal description of the street would probably be something that Mr. Ludgate would coordinate with Steve Price to make sure that that was accurate. Is that a correct assumption, or is that inappropriate?
Yeah, Phil, that's
Jerome
what
is
we're doing
indicating-
right. Yeah, we're doing that right now. Our surveyor's correct, Tom Ludgate prepared it, and we're checking it to make sure it agrees on our end. And once we do that, we'll give you the feedback on that, and then you're good to go with adding that legal description to what Steve Price is working on for you.
Okay, so I will wait till we get that, and then I will go to Mr. Price and we'll take care of that part. And I think the only other thing that I see is that once Michelle gets caught up and gives us those stormwater agreements, either the president and I of the HOA or myself and one of the board members, who's ever available, will get that signed and notarized, and so you will have that information.
And I had the stormwater agreement that you sent me and I looked at it. I didn't start making any revisions. I can send you an email tomorrow. If you have the homeowners, I think what we talked about last week was
Right.
doing an amendment to the homeowners versus just the stormwater agreement. So if you have the homeowners agreement that you could send to me, that I could add some language and send it back to you and or Steve Price if he's gonna be assisting. I can work through that while it simultaneously goes through the dedication process with council. Cause I think the intent is, once it has to go through the dedication process with council and then come back here for approval of the revised plan of record, which would include the agreements.
I think council right now needs the recommendation.
Correct, they would like tonight, yes, they would like tonight that upon, I think the appropriate would be upon Public Works approval of the legal description to recommend, if this commission so desires, acceptance of the dedication.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, I couldn't hear all of that. I didn't necessarily understand all of it, so maybe somebody can explain that to me or send me an email.
It's all in your favor.
Yeah, so I'll try to summarize it briefly for you. Number one, if you could send me the homeowners association agreement so we can work on getting that marked up as needed to address the stormwater as we discussed last week.
Yeah, Okay, so now you want our our bylaws and covenants that talk about the stormwater agreement? Is that what you want?
Yeah, I'll send you an email, but we can communicate and clarify what I need.
Okay,
The second part of that discussion was addressing your inquiry as to timing. City council has asked this commission tonight to make a recommendation as to acceptance of dedication of the roadways. And
Yeah,
then why that's going through.
I can't understand. I'm sorry, I just can't understand anything that you
This is-
said, not
This is not
interpreted.
the best light.
Yeah,
We are having a problem with internet
Yeah.
application, so.
Yeah, and
About this,
Yeah.
you'll coordinate with Steve Price.
Yeah, I'll coordinate with you and Steve Price.
all
But
right,
tonight, everything is working. Tonight, it's brief as comments. It's working through the process and we're gonna be moving this forward tonight.
okay,
See
all
recommendation.
right. But we will comply
Yeah.
with what you've asked, and Tim said he's gonna come up to do the inspection sometime next week, so I'll be available.
very good. Thank you, Phil. We're gonna do the recommendation now. So that, and send this to city council.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Phil.
Okay,
All right.
appreciate
Do
it.
I hear? Oh, you're welcome. Do I hear a motion to recommend the dedication of the 2 streets within Castlewood be dedicated to the city of Reading, provided that that Public Works accepts the legal description as provided by Ludgate Engineering?
So
Is
move.
that appropriate? Is that appropriate, Tim?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, very good. So I got a motion from Nelson. Do I hear a second?
Peter?
Danny's second. Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed? Okay, very good. We will-
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it
Oh.
greatly.
Very good, and we'll see you soon, Phil, because, yeah, we're gonna have to have at least one more meeting once, council gets their end done.
Yeah, I understand there's a couple of, quite a few more steps yet, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we move on to update on the Reading Downtown Strategic Plan. I'll give that to Simon.
Sure, thank you so much. In the past 2 sessions, we have talked about downtown plan. One of them was during the commissioners workshop. We would like to have an opportunity to look at this again in the coming workshop. If commissioners will have any questions or any comments, we'll welcome them then. But thereafter in July, if commissioners will not have any questions or any addition, I would request that we recommend this plan to move forward the castle so that it can be considered for adoption.
Okay, and if you could send out any materials updating the plan and send out the links to the plan again, because it's such a big plan. I don't think everybody can download it. Yeah, well, this is just the implementation.
That's the, invitation component, and the executive summary is even large.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good size. So,
I think this might be, I'm trying to look at the agenda. This might be the time to amend the agenda just to authorize the advertisement of the West Reading meeting.
yes.
Something about that?
Yeah.
Oh, you-
Yeah, we received confirmation today from West Reading that July 11th at 6 p.m. is good for their representative. I just wanted to double check with everyone here if they still believe that's a good date for them.
Yes.
As long as we have it in another room.
Yeah, July 11th,
Yep.
6 p.m. Okay, very good. Then do I hear a motion to amend the agenda so that we can make a motion to advertise the July 11th meeting?
As long as we don't have it in this room.
Oh, yeah, let's try to get the pen room. Thursday, the pen room
Thanks,
should be
Nelson.
open.
Yeah. It's not like that won't be a very good working relation, because they may have other people that may zoom in too.
Right, and that would be great if they, so,
So pre-price is pen room,
what's that?
pre-price is pen room. So the-
Pen room or.
Yeah, pen room, yeah, let's try for the pen room.
That'd be 6 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that should be long enough. I'm thinking 90 minutes, we should be in and out. But that would also give a chance for all of the commissioners to ask questions as to what West Reading's looking for from us and what we're looking for from them. Okay, so do I hear a motion to amend agenda? I believe Nelson gave the motion.
No, but I'm happy to. So move.
Okay. Good. Okay. Second on the motion?
Reader,
Okay, Peter? Very good. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
all right,
Aye.
And now we need a motion to actually make the advertisement. Danny? Okay, second on the motion?
Second.
I'll second it. Is that the procedural thing? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we have a meeting for July 11th at 6 p.m. I'm actually looking forward to this. This is the first time
Mhm.
that we're actually coordinating with another municipality on something. So,
Make sure that they're aware that there's gonna be a link. That they can, people from West Reading, if they've got office and have access. I can show them how I, so that they can.
yeah, that would be great.
But if there is gonna be more than, there's gonna be a majority of them, we need to advertise as a joint meeting. Even if they're zooming in, so just make sure
So should we then check with them if they?
before you advertise it, yes.
Okay, well, that-
Yeah, because at this point, only the chairman is supposed to come, but you never know. Things change from minute to minute. Okay, I'll look to Jerome for updates on the zoning and saldo amendments.
Yes, city council now has dates that they are now considering for public hearings, and I believe that they have conducted some of the readings. I believe one of the first hearings is gonna be on July 1st. Not 100% positive on that, but we'll check the dates, but it's the phase 1 and phase 2 amendments are in process. So we've done our work, nothing further we have to do.
The hearings are being advertised. Or once they've been read, they'll be advertised.
Yes, and that's council's.
Oh, Mike's involved in it.
And is there an update to the zoning map revision?
All right, this is getting. Linda has submitted the zoning map revisions to Berks County Planning Commission for review and consideration. Both Simon and I have looked high and low for a review letter, and nothing has been made available. We also checked with Linda, nothing has been submitted. At this point, it's well beyond 30 days. We may be closer to 60 on where this is, but I believe Linda also reached out to the county on where it is. City wants to move forward with this in order to, city council wants to move forward with this item as well. And we have not made an official recommendation on this, but we certainly were leaning favor of it in the past. So I'll turn it over to Michelle.
It's up to the commission how they want to do, but I think our last communication with Linda Kelleher was we could postpone that because she was gonna reach out to the county.
She did.
We could postpone that to July.
So we're basically waiting for the county.
We don't, they have 30 days to review, and if they don't, we can take that action. We can move on with it. Is it 30 or 40?
30 days for a zoning amendment and zoning map amendment.
Okay.
For a new zoning map,
It's,
it's 45.
okay. I could look, I just know off the top of my head, but, if they don't, we could move forward. But I think we just want to confirm that they got it and that time clock has started. So we'd ask Ms. Kelleher, is it okay to postpone that, to postpone this commission's recommendation to our July meeting? And she said yes.
Okay. And the county also did this with our zoning and saldo amendments. They went beyond 30 days as well, but Linda has reached out to them already.
Am I correct in my recollection that she said we could wait till July meeting?
Yes, she
Okay.
did, yes. Okay, but be prepared to,
Yes.
we need to make a
Motion.
that effort.
And just as a
Exactly.
refresher, this would be moving a piece of land from preservation to R1. So, someone have a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, which, are we talking about the parcel in Hessian Camp? And that is then what we're talking about. Okay, thank you.
Yep, yeah, that's always good to check.
Yeah, I think we did the reviews back
Yeah,
4 or 5 months ago.
right.
Very good, so, all right, we will, I guess we will then move on to the active plans requiring time extensions. Okay.
Okay, so the first one's Holy Trinity Church. As you all may have recalled, it does have its challenges. They basically have to do their planning module, coordinate the sewer flows with 2 municipal authorities or 2 governing bodies. There's also the dedication. There's easements that needed to be coordinated with the Berks County trails, and also there were paper streets that were located on this plan as well. So they had a number of things. There is a earth disturbance permit that they need as well. There's a number of issues. So they got a lot of obstacles. Did we get a time extension from the folks from Holy Trinity?
Yes. Okay, very good. Do I hear a motion to grant?
How long's the time?
Oh, yeah. Did they specify a length for the time extension, Simon?
No, I have not, I not see that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know there's have been an application.
It doesn't have a date or a number of days on it.
I will not get much data because I will.
Hold on.
Apologies, I can't attend that. Sure.
We're up against the deadline.
Yes, it will end at the end of this month.
Why don't we accept a 90-day extension, provided that they submit a request for 90 days before the end of the month?
Yeah.
And if they fail to do so,
They used the last day of the month. So it'll be through June 30th.
and should they fail to do so, we'll have to deny the plan based on your last review letter.
Okay.
Just to protect the city.
Okay.
Should be a motion and they'll try to.
All right. So do I hear a motion to grant a 90-day time extension to the Holy Trinity Church Land Development Plan, provided that the developer submits a letter asking for the 90-day extension, and if that letter is not received on or before June 30th, the plan will be denied, subject to the conditions of the letter, of the last review letter.
Say that again?
Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Oh, who was that? Peter?
Yeah.
Made the motion. Nelson seconded. Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Okay. Next. We need to decipher what Wawa means about withdrawing their plan.
Yes, and I asked for clarification of that. They indicated that they want to withdraw. I'd asked for a letter. And also just to let us know where their soil remediation plans are at this point. So in case anyone asks, we would have that. I have not seen anything. Did we get anything?
Councilor Areta,
Here it is.
we did get a letter, which is right here. One of the biggest thing they were really highlighting was the issue of, I think, funding, which kind of stood out.
So and it's also my understanding that they owe us money.
Okay. But at least we have a letter from them
Yeah.
saying that the lead contamination process is completed and the capping is completed. So that we have some public record saying that they at least got that part of it finished.
So yeah, I've been informed that they owe us
Like $1,200,
something like that.
between 1,000 and 1,200, I want to say.
Yeah,
So then we can
Someone
get that
can,
resolved.
if someone can include that as part of their motion,
We have to accept the withdrawal.
accept the withdrawal, but also acknowledge that they owe us
Okay,
that amount of money.
very good. Never had to do one of these before. Okay,
And-
do I hear a
and I
motion to
can-
accept the? Oh, go
Yeah, sorry,
ahead,
Mr.
Bob.
I just wanted to say, I could tell you that the mounds are gone, those big heaps they had on the west and south sides of the property. It's pretty much leveled out now on grade.
Okay, so do I hear do I hear a motion to accept the withdrawal of the land development plan for Wawa store number 153 on 11th and Rockland Avenue? Acknowledging that the developer still owes the city outstanding fees.
So,
I'll
I'm sorry,
offer the motion, it's Rockland Street.
Oh, yes, Rockland Street, yes.
I'll offer that
Okay.
motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Will. And we will The amount is $1,616.90. Do you accept the
Yeah,
amending the motion to?
Yeah. yep,
Okay,
yeah, we'll include it in the
Very
motion,
good,
thank you.
all right, and a second? Sure. Danny? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
I,
Aye,
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Good. And then the next one is the 1148 Moss Street Land Development Plan. This is the apartments?
Yes. I don't think that they recorded their plan yet. So this might be a reaffirmation.
Well, we didn't, is it,
approved them.
did we approve the apartments or just, we only approved the parking, I thought?
Yeah, I think we only approved the parking.
You know what? Because the planning modules were required yet. Yes, you are correct.
And I don't know. I don't know if we need reaffirmation, because I don't know that we have the agreements yet for parking, I'll have to double check.
Parking would have been 1144. This is 1125.
This is a time extension.
This is for the apartments, and there will be a time extension. And yes, we will need to extend it. It's for the planning modules.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, actually, you have 1136 to 1148. That would be the parking lot.
That's the parking garage or parking lot. That was approved. We had the agreements all sent to them. That would be a reaffirmation.
Right. Is it anybody here for that?
This is Larry Grabowski from C2C Design Group. We're requesting a time extension for the apartments, the 1125 Moss Street.
Okay, that makes sense, Larry. Thank you.
Okay, and how long would you like that, Larry?
We're requesting till September 25. September 25th, 2024.
Did that make it past the work? Yes, that's good. Thanks, Larry.
Great. And then if you could just get that to writing to us tomorrow.
I submitted it.
Oh, you did submit it? Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Larry.
Yeah, you're welcome. I have two questions. Where do we stand with the approval for the parking lot? I think we're just waiting for final approval on the cost estimate so we can get the agreement signed. And then also, where do we stand on the sewage planning module status for the apartments?
Yeah, I'll take the parking garage, our parking area, which is 1144. 1144 has land development plan approval. We gave you, I believe, the draft municipal improvements agreement. The cost estimates, I believe, were agreed upon. And we've also gave you the stormwater management agreement as well. Do you have copies of those?
I didn't see an approved copy. That last I have in my emails, I sent them to you guys and I didn't get anything back. I don't know if it.
I'll circle to see where I stand with them.
Okay.
While we're on the subject of the parking, should we do a reaffirmation? Or wait till we get the agreements?
Larry, how close are you to starting that project?
I think they wanted to start pretty quickly. So, next 3 to 4 weeks, maybe, hopefully.
Would you like to ask for reaffirmation of that plan? Just out
Yes,
of caution?
Yes, please. Do you need that in
We'll get
writing?
that to you.
Oh, go ahead.
We'll get that form to you, and you can complete it and send it right back to us. And then Larry, if you have it dated for today, and then you'll have 90 days then to record the plan.
Okay.
So first, do I hear a motion to reaffirm the approval of the land development plan for 1136 to 1148 Mall Street, provided that we receive the written, written submission for reaffirmation from the applicant, by June 30th.
Question, Mr. Chairman. Would we have
Go
to
ahead.
amend our agenda again?
No, because it's listed, the project in total is listed on the agenda.
Oh, even though it's under a different category of action, because the item is on the agenda, we're good. Okay, that's good to know. Thank
Yes.
you.
And do I hear a second on that?
Second.
Yeah, Nelson? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say, yeah, question on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, very good. And then secondly, do I hear, do I hear a, motion to extend the review period of the apartment area of the land development plan for 1136 to 1148 Mall Street until September 25th, 2024. Okay, Danny, second?
So,
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, well, thank you very much, Larry.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Larry, this is Tim, and you were asking the question on the progress of the planning modules.
Yes,
And I can't give you an exact answer on that because, again, our utilities division, Deb Hogue is the one working on it. But I remember I did see some activity on that. I know they're
Okay.
working on it, but the best thing to do would be send an email to Robert Roth. Yeah, I think you have Robert's email.
Yeah.
If not, shoot it to me and I'll make sure he gets it.
okay,
He can
Thank-
give you an up-to-date. Yep,
okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Great.
While we're on, did we get a time extension from Windsor Way?
So,
They don't need it?
Was not. At least that was amended.
I got an email from them saying that they will be extending extension request. Thank you. Well, their time's up.
Let's make the same motion we did for Holy Trinity.
It's not on the agenda though.
We'll have to amend the agenda. We can do that. There's no funds or anything.
oh, which one is Windsor Way?
Your copy of this. Windsor Way is located along Leaf Center Avenue. This was the immersion of Knights Rental.
Oh, okay. All right, would have never figured that out.
I think the person, so I'll put our thing cap on, was the person, point of contact, Alex. Batansis. No, he doesn't represent Holy Trinity. I know he doesn't represent Wawa.
And he doesn't represent Mall Street because
No. It's EXP Realty. Does that sound familiar, Tim?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. And the last thing I can remember is that they were working on planning modules. And I don't think they had any professional assistance. I think they were trying to do that on their own. And I was encouraging them that they might need some professional assistance for the planning modules. And I haven't heard back from them since.
So according to his email, once again, he says, hello, we will be sending extension requests. Thank you. And that was dated June 20th. Yeah.
I'm not asking about that particularly with the shall be done extension and the zoning office seemed to indicate that that was not that kind. But,
Well, we definitely need it.
so perhaps.
We didn't give any approval, they don't have approval, right? Yeah, because they're waiting for the planning module, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the same, I would recommend the same motion you did for, well, first of all, you have to amend the agenda. And then I would recommend the same motion you did for Holy Trinity, 90-day upon written request or denial based on the review letter, most recent review letter.
And we have a address for this?
They're on Center Avenue?
It's on Center Avenue.
Yeah, Center and,
Yeah, right there on, by the school.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, that's Alice Betances project.
That is Alex's project. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's on Center Avenue, but formerly Knights Row.
okay, that sounds good to me, because we know what, we all know the property.
Mhm.
So, all right, then, do I hear a motion to amend the agenda to add the time extension for the Windsor Way development on Center Avenue, formerly Knights Rental?
I think it was Reading Reynolds.
Very rental, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where was
that
that?
sounds right, yeah, because the school's 1,400.
I'll offer that motion as
Okay,
amended.
Second.
yes, the actual address is 1340 Center Avenue.
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's Will
It's,
Nelson.
it's
Question on the
between-
motion?
It's between Pike and Amity.
Is there a question on the motion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, now we go on to the next thing. Okay, do I hear a motion to grant a 90-day time extension for the development at 1340 Center Avenue, provided that a written request for extension is received on or before June 30th. If not, the submission will be denied according to the final, the latest review letter sent out by Hawk Valley Associates.
Go move.
Good job.
Okay, a motion?
So move.
Danny, second?
A second.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Okay, hearing none. It's passed. And, okay, Yep.
Are we under any time constraints with Castlewood?
For the revised plan of record. Probably batch.
Don't think that's gonna be an issue, but maybe we should just do the same.
We would have to be. It's might have expired.
All right, they're working, so let's just, I don't think we get to denial situations, so let's just continue to work with them.
if we need to, we can ask for a request for next. Okay, sounds good. All right, next on the agenda is the escrow release for 625 McKnight Street to the Reading Parking Authority.
We already made a recommendation to release the funds for the site improvements. The as-built plans were also just recently submitted. I reviewed the plans. There were some deficiencies which I pointed out. And then I was informed by McCarthy Engineering that they did not put in trench 2. And Tim, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. You asked me that question. I haven't had a chance to go back and look. That's like, wow, a year ago. I have to go back and look at my emails and get back to you on that one. I'm sorry I don't have an answer for tonight.
So here's the problem, Tim. On the approved plan, it does show trench 1 and trench 2. I was under the perception that they did put both trenches in when they were doing it. And the problem I have is if it now malfunctions or the area malfunctions due to flooding, there is a plan that the approved plan that was reported shows trench 2. And the as-built plans do not.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember talking about trenches. I don't remember saying that one is needed or not needed. I just remember talking about them in general. Again, I'd have to go back and see specifically what was stated, but if it's on the recorded plan, then it should be on the ground.
Okay. Let's not take any action on this. We need to verify this and get back with McCarthy Engineering on this subject. So yeah, let's do some research on this then.
Yeah, that's interesting because usually McCarthy's pretty good.
Why don't you take the motion to table? Since
Okay.
it's on the agenda?
All right, do I hear a motion to table the escrow release for 625 McKnight Street? Danny, second?
Second.
Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Great. Well, that's, everything that's on the agenda. What's that? Oh, yes, actually, Brandon, intern.
Yes.
Yeah. With Michelle today is Brandon.
Castro.
Brandon Castro, he's an intern at the firm where Michelle is. And he has come in because unlike every other planning commission in Berks County, the buck stops with us because we're deliberating agency. So he wanted to see how it works. So welcome to Brandon. We hope to see him again.
Also, to your attention, Mr. Chairman, I would like to mention that Mr. Christopher Richard is here. He did join us. He's a new planning commissioner. Oh, welcome. Yes, president.
Yes, I think he's the one who's hiding in the shadows.
Nope, that's not it.
Hi.
Hello, Christopher. How are you?
I'm okay. I guess I have to get better lighting for my background.
But well, welcome, and I will be sending you the welcome package of 300 pages or so.
Okay.
Of information.
Yes, I don't think that.
So yeah, you weren't planning on that when you signed on, did you?
There'll be a quiz.
So, but it's all materials to just to help you get acquainted with what we do at the Planning Commission, and most of it's written by the state of Pennsylvania. So that they would like you to read, but it's not. It's not required reading. Okay, the next. There's more. Oh, yeah, there's a few things. While I was working today. Okay, somebody on one of my message boards said that there's a bill going through the state of Pennsylvania that's going to get rid of local zoning.
That's a misnomer. I haven't dove into it a lot. The goal is to do more low income housing. It'll be an effect on the city, but the city may already meet those conditions. I'm not dove into it, but there is a bill pending.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
Something we can do is I can do some homework. And bring it back when you talk about it in the workshop.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
If you wanted to consider if you're opposed to it or any action you can want to send to them. Not too bad, Jamie, but. Just
Yeah.
legislation, so.
Yeah, well, I'll have to let them know. So it is something that's real.
Yes.
I found it on a message board on someplace in Montgomery County. It was interesting. It came across my desk, so I just wanted to confirm that. So, second. Over to Tim, although he's really not in charge of this, since was the parking authority who probably marked out the streets, the street. The parking, the diagonal parking on Old Wyomissing Road. That seems to be raising complaints in the newspaper. Do you have any details on that?
I guess about as much as anybody else here at the city. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of discussion on that. It was a plan that was presented to me, Public Works, for approval to add parking. In a lot of ways, like we did on Marion Street, if you remember that with the Reading Parking Authority. We ended up doing diagonal parking and added 9 spaces over there. It's similar, except longer. This went for 2 blocks, and it was to add spaces to assist the Pickleball Association. Apparently requested it. I didn't even know that. I was working with Dean Murray, who at the time was the borough manager. And so Dean said, Tim, I'd like you to approve this so we can add some spaces on Old Wyomissing. And Old Wyomissing Road's very wide road, and it could easily accommodate the angled parking and still have parking on the other side of the street, on the residential side of the street, and have 2 12-foot lanes, which are 12-foot lanes are 3 feet wider than the normal lane in a typical city street. So we went through it. They had systems design engineering drafted up, and we approved it. It went in, and after they laid it out and marked it here last week, apparently it generated some residents' disagreement with what was going on, and they were pretty vocal about it. So they got a lot of attention from city council and other places. So other residents are in favor of it. They don't want the pickleball players parking on their street and taking up their spaces. So it's being reviewed right now. The city is, as far as I'm concerned, is still in favor of the change. It seems to be working. It's giving the pickleball players some additional spaces so they don't take up the residential. And by the way, this is all in the city of Reading, even though it seems like it's West Reading. Both the pickleball courts and all the residential areas are in the city of Reading. The pickleball courts with the tennis courts and basketball courts, that whole park area, is owned by West Reading. They own the property, but it's located in the city. So right now, we're in a wait and see. We're collecting information. We're trying to get all the facts, and we're going to see. At least this is my recommendation. Council may have other instructions, but for right now, we're just looking to see if this is a benefit to the city or if this is going to be a detriment, if this is going to provide some hardships. Right now, we're not fully understanding why there's a problem. We do see the benefits. So that's about all I can tell you right now.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where on Marion Street did the city add diagonal parking? Which 100 block?
It's the Jerome, what was it? The 1200 10th Street? What was the address of that? Do you remember that one with Reading Parking Authority? They went with the diagonal parking. I can't remember the exact address on that one.
I can't think of it now either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year. The other diagonal is the 9th Street Fire Station. There they had parallel parking and we added, what,
Yep.
3 or 4 spaces of diagonal. And this is just a
Yes,
couple
we
of
did.
couple of blocks east is where they added. Now, I don't know if they've actually built that yet or not, but it was approved.
Wasn't there one in Albright also on 12th?
Yeah.
Yes, that.
Yeah, we had several pre-existing, but I can't,
Right.
I
That,
don't know where on Marion that would have been.
yeah, that's two blocks
I've been
east.
there.
Oh, you mean the one for the fire station on the 900
was-
block?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one of them. That was one of them. But then there was another one further up, further east, about 2
Oh,
blocks east.
further east.
Yes.
Okay. Near,
Yeah.
maybe near this one we just took action on here this evening. Okay.
And another
Right.
example is Liggett Avenue.
Yeah,
And
all of
Oak Brook.
Liggett and Greg.
Yes.
And we
that
have,
was a
we have
recent-
diagonal
Greg
parking
was
at
a
several
while-
other
yes,
places.
that
College
was-
Avenue,
Right. I'm thinking of
Windsor
recently.
Street.
Right.
There's, I think, up in Hillside. Uh,
Oh, at the swimming pool.
yeah. Is that
Yeah.
14th Street or I think, or
Yeah.
Linden? Yeah.
14th maybe.
14th, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, Penn Street,
That's right.
Penn Square.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to bring this up in case the commissioners hear some complaints. Like I spoke to Mr. Fox a few weeks ago and we were at a banquet and people kept coming to him at the banquet and complaining about zoning hearing board decisions. So, we can, number one, say that we didn't approve it because that was something that Public Works did. But on the other hand,
And again, it
we're always looking
really,
for parking.
yeah, it, all of this change took place within the right of way. So it did not involve any property. So it wasn't a development. It wasn't a land development. So it wouldn't really come before the planning commission. But if you do hear, if any of the commission members or anybody, listening, please contact me. Let me know. I'm trying to collect all the information and getting it back to city council and the city clerk so we can assess this maybe in a couple of months and see where we're at with it.
And I should clarify, sometimes it's diagonal parking and sometimes it's perpendicular. Now, I don't know if there's a technical distinction, what they call each.
I wouldn't call it
Right.
perpendicular because that's 90 degrees. This
Yeah,
is
some places, I
angled.
mean, we have 90-degree parking. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah, and somewhere, yeah, but this is 45-degree parking, angled
But this is
parking.
proposed to be diagonal, you're saying, okay.
It is the angled parking, yes, that they put in. It was parallel parking and they made it angled parking, and I think they picked up 6 or 9 spaces by doing that, so it was successful in doing that.
And too bad Emily's not here. The July 9th zoning hearing board will hear a variance for off-street parking and loading requirements for a proposed neighborhood shopping center at 1853 North 3rd Street.
Guess whose project that is?
So you know about a little bit about this, right?
Yeah. It's a, it is a shopping center consisting of various shops. I mean, it's not one big store. It's several smaller stores. But yes, it's located in the 500-year floodplain. But it's been undeveloped. It's part of the Glidden property.
So just wanted to let everyone know about that, yeah, that's going before the zoning hearing board and, maybe we'll see something.
Yeah, that's more than likely gonna come before us.
I
So,
have two
does
things
anyone
for,
else?
yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
go
have two
ahead.
things for Public Works also. Quickly, where do we, I haven't had a speed lately. Have we been making progress on the, school 15 mile per hour school zone flashing lights?
Well, as far as what? As far as implementing that, as far as getting them installed?
No, so that they stop flashing during the whole summer
okay.
again, like they have the
Okay.
last couple of years.
Yeah, when you called me, Will, I forwarded that over to our contractor, Telco, whose job is to go out there and do it. We don't have a staff right now that
Right.
can go out there and do that. So we have a contractor that does that, Telco. And I encouraged them to get that done, last week, when you told me about it. I didn't know they were still flashing. So they got the word to do
well,
it.
that was the first I noticed, and I tried all summer the last 2 years, and Christmas time too.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they could fix that. So maybe we'll follow up maybe by our workshop and see if there's a progress. I'm not always out during those times of the day. I know sometimes you've noticed them.
Yeah. I
Well,
guess
thank
we have
you.
to get better at notifying Telco when school is over so that they can turn them off, and then when school starts again, so they can turn them on again. Those dates vary.
Right.
It's not the same every year.
Right. And the school district provides the city those dates, right?
No, but it's on their website.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's not a
That's
secret.
that's how I found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
The other question is, I understand there was an article in the newspaper on the railroad bridges. I think you wanted to, I know we talked about plans for the one on Schuylkill Avenue. I don't know if that ever began or where that stands, or just want to update us quickly.
Real quick, yeah, all three are in progress. The Schuylkill Avenue, again, that's the PennDOT project where they're going to raise Schuylkill Avenue. That has been under construction now for months. And it should be very soon that they are going to close Schuylkill Avenue. The block between Buttonwood Street and West Green Street. That whole section will be closed, and the detour then will take you down Greenwich Street, down to whatever street you want to take to go back down to Buttonwood. I think the detour will probably take you all the way out to Fifth Street because that's the next state highway. So that one is under construction. That'll be under construction now for about another 18 months to 2 years till they get that back up. And then the other two that we discussed, that PennDOT made a presentation on a preliminary design for the two bridges, one on Center Avenue, it's the same railroad line. It's the same Norfolk Southern Railroad line on Center Avenue and the one on Fifth Street. Both of those both of those are state highways. And the Fifth Street one, by some weird quirky thing, happens to belong to the city. I don't know why. It's a railroad bridge on a state highway, but the city owns it. So it is currently, both of those bridges are in condition requiring rehabilitation. They're both been slated for rehabilitation because of age and deterioration. Which is good news for the city. PennDOT is gonna fix the bridge on their dime, so that's nice. But they will also have to raise the bridges, and that's where we get into the interesting, effects of this rehabilitation. Both of those bridges also have to be raised, and the impacts to the city. And I would encourage you to listen to the to the Cal meeting. This was presented at not last Monday, but the Monday before Cal meeting, where they PennDOT review. It was an hour-long presentation, and good to hear that and understand what they're proposing, because it could have some significant impacts to the surrounding area, to that neighborhood, and it'll definitely increase the slope of the road where the bridges are. So
that is the city council committee of the whole, you mean, by Cal. Yeah.
The Cal, committee of the whole. Yes.
And this is to accommodate higher or even double, I suppose, railroad cars, right?
It's
and
all
we
for
had
that
talked
same
about
reason.
this for
Yes.
Schuylkill Avenue years ago, but I hadn't been in that section to see that it has started a few months ago. So that's good. And then obviously there'll be these other ones with the traffic interruptions that go with it.
Right.
But at least then, like you say, that's good to know the bridges will be in good repair then.
Right. And both of these proposed bridges, Center Avenue and Fifth Street, those are both on the TIP, or the Transportation Improvement Program. That's a 4-year PennDOT program that Kyle Zieber, our Public Works Director, and myself sit on. Donna Reed is on the coordinating committee. We review PennDOT's proposed projects for the entire county, of which these two projects are one. And of course, the big West Shore Bypass project is another one. And that one, the first phase of the West Shore Bypass, that's the 6-lane conversion of the West Shore Bypass, 422. The first phase is on this 4-year TIP, scheduled for let in, I believe it's 2027 or 28. So it is planned for construction here in the not so distant future, as well as these two bridges.
But thank you.
You're welcome.
Does it require that you're an expert of some sort to join this TIP committee?
It's managed by the County Planning Commission. Alan Piper is on the Planning Commission staff, and he's our local MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization Administrator or Manager. So I guess it would be up to Alan Piper at the Planning Commission with the county to determine. And there's two committees. There's a technical committee, which Kyle Zieber and I sit on, and then Donna Reed is on the coordinating committee. They're the ones that actually do the approval. The technical committee makes recommendations, and then the coordinating committee makes the approval to PennDOT on the various things like the TIP that get approved from time to time.
Yeah, there's a monthly meeting held at the Berks County Planning Commission on the 14th floor.
Yeah.
Used to be like the second Tuesday at 1:30 in the afternoon or something, so
Yeah,
the
it's
PennDOT people show up.
First
And that-
Thursdays now.
First Thursday.
First Thursdays, yes.
And that meeting is called the RATS meeting, the Reading
Yeah.
Area Transportation Study.
Right.
That if you're interested in this kind of stuff, Christopher, that's the meeting to go to.
Yeah, and you can attend as an interested member of the public. It's open, it's a public meeting, just like this meeting.
And if you call Alan ahead of time, you can even make comments.
Yes.
Because I've done that over the years. And they're very welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Annie? Peter? Yeah, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, you're out of order. Can you stick online for a moment, Nelson? I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So long.